This is a 2003 Chevy Astro van, and today we're going to be going over everything that's wrong with it. But to start out, we could talk about everything that's right with it. So earlier today, I had to take one trip home. It was a little risky since the car's running so-so. But check this out. I finished unloading everything from my townhouse. I've got two Husky cabinets here. I've got a little dolly here. I've got my AMSOIL storage rack. At this point, all my tools are here. So I can finally start using the shop space for what it's meant for. Brought some gloves too. No doubt we're gonna need those today. I didn't bring paper towels though. God damn it. Oh man. Just like back home. This van is the perfect size for my needs. Just a little bit bigger than a minivan. The squared off corners give you a lot more space on the inside, a lot more utility, and it doesn't have the extreme length of a full-size van. So we're gonna start by talking about one of the biggest issues I've ran across since getting the car. You can see this thing is very hard starting. Like extremely hard starting. Let's pop the hood. Another issue is the hood latch is kind of finicky. All right. So I'm pulling into the Home Depot parking lot the other day and all of a sudden the RPM spike up to what I'm assuming is around 2,700, 2,800 RPM. The car doesn't have a tachometer, but it was high. You get off the gas and the car would just go. So I pulled over and popped the hood and I noticed that right here, we had a massive vacuum leak. You can see that hose is just crumbling. And I could literally just twist it with my fingers and separate it. This hose goes all the way down the engine bay to a little vacuum accumulator ball. So the end of this crusty vacuum hose connected right there on that nipple. All right, this line back here looks pretty shitty too. Luckily we got a silicone hose for that one as well. Ah. Got it. Thank you. All right, let's see if it starts up any better now. I don't think the new vacuum lines, if anything, they're not gonna hurt. That was a little faster. I think it probably just needs a good tune-up. Spark plug wires, spark plugs, maybe change the fuel filter. I definitely got to change the oil. The spark plugs on this car are kind of hard to get at, so it makes sense that somebody probably would avoid doing that maintenance interval, but at 239,000 miles, it doesn't hurt to go over all those, cover all your bases. But at least now I think it's running good enough where I can go pick up our next project. First gas fill up in the Astro van. You better believe it's going on the company car. All right, we're almost there. Van's driving nice. Lauren, how you doing?
Good.
There's a couple like squeaks and rattles inside of here. I gotta get those taken care of. Apparently it's pretty common on these things. All right, load secured. We got the LS engine, all the parts for it. We got an engine hoist, engine stand, some other goodies. And some cash money. Cleaned up, reassembled. I'll check it for flatness. Yeah. All right, it's the next day. We're gonna head up north to Gideon's house to pick up a steel workbench for the space. It's gonna be perfect for taking apart this new LS engine. Shout out to my buddy Dan for helping me unload it from the car. While we're up there, we'll be able to give you an update on the LS RX-7 build, and we actually got something for it. Gideon knows his way around those LS's pretty good, so I got a couple questions for him. And I think he actually has a nice book about taking them apart and doing rebuilds on it, so that's gonna be very handy as well. When you're starting out a shop like this, it helps to be resourceful and have connections, because if I were to purchase a brand new engine crane, a new engine stand, a like high quality steel table, I mean, I'd be looking at close to $1,000 right now that I do not have. By this time, I've gotten pretty good at just working with what I've got available to me. You guys have seen in the past 6 years, we have done engine swaps, paint jobs, whole bunch of stuff, a lot of body work, and exhaust work. We've done it all, full car builds in a townhouse garage. So we got a lot more room to grow in here. It's very exciting. All right, we made it. Here's that RX-7. Looking good. And here's a new work table. See, as long as you can get it to here, that's good. Van stuff. Here's the LS engine. Are these the factory?
No, that's not
steam
the factory
kit, or that's
This is the aftermarket one that is junk. Because if you look here, I can't fit it into here because it doesn't use the injectors and it pops out. Because this one here too, I had to modify the underneath the throttle body to even clearance the lines under there.
Oh.
Not ideal.
Well, let's see if this is gonna work for you. Whoa.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is going to be so much nicer because it comes with all these. Yeah, this will be way nice. But I do like this because it is close to the OEM. Because the OEM stuff, too, is also steel.
Oh, how's getting the crank pulley off the LS's? The one I'm looking at is rusty. It's not as bad as a Honda, is it? Crank pulley bolts?
These are torqued to all of 240 foot-pounds.
Oh, no.
and then another 60 degrees.
Okay.
Or something like that. It's atrocious.
Looks like they got instructions for you. I'll probably use the same exact kit on our LS engine. All right, so this kit works whether you have the factory knock sensors or one of those fancy CNC valley cover plates. How to rebuild GM LS series engines. Over 600 step-by-step color photos. So after getting back from picking up the table, I went ahead to my storage spot and picked up the J35A8, and I also picked up my Miata rear subframe, which means I only have one more heavy object to lift over here, which is my K24 build. Now before I had my Astro van, I was still hauling engines around, but mostly little 4-cylinder engines, and these you can haul in the back of your CRV. We've got our J35A8 Acura TL Type S engine, our JDM K24A out of a JDM Honda Absolute van, and we have this Chevy LS out of a early 2000s GMC Sierra. All right, it's the next day. My goal for today is get everything out of my old storage. Feels good to get rid of that payment. When I moved into the storage space, it was $170 a month, and then one day they just decided to raise it up to $210 a month. It's crazy. My new shop space, I got that down to $1,500 a month, which is an absolute steal for what it is. I just finished getting everything unloaded. My wife just texted me that the rest of our floor tiles have arrived, so I think I know what I'm doing this afternoon. Heyo! And check out the Acura pumpkin. Well, shit, it looks like I'm gonna need one more box. Anyway, back to the Astro van. I noticed one thing we could repair quick. The transmission dipstick here, handle must have broken off, so getting that out of there, might have to grab a pliers. Oh, there we go. I found a new one on eBay. Looks to be the right length. Oh yeah. Guess what? I took another trip into town to get myself some more of those shelves. I really like them, so they got them at Home Depot. They're the HDX 48 by 78 by 24. They're pretty nice. So get this, although this thing doesn't run that great, it doesn't have a check engine light. Well, it turns out that's because this car doesn't have a check engine light. It only has the service engine soon light. I had no idea. Please forgive me. This is my first time owning the Chevy. The good news is that means we could scan it and see what's going on. I got this little blue driver scanner. This is just a cheap little wireless scanner that hooks up to your phone. Eventually, I want to get something nicer. So we got 7 anti-lock brake system codes. A lot of them look like they stem from a bad ABS wheel sensor. We got 3 pending codes: System 2 Rich Bank 1, System 2 Rich Bank 2, and random multiple misfires detected. So I might be able to rule out a bad fuel pump or maybe a clogged fuel filter. We got too much fuel going through the pipes. What could be happening is the spark plugs aren't igniting the fuel, therefore the unburnt fuel is getting into the exhaust, triggering the O2 sensors. I got big news, guys. Guess who just got their own dumpster? I did. So they pick it up every 4 weeks. I don't make that much trash, so it shouldn't be an issue. And it's only 45 bucks a month. Not bad. Perfect. Good there? Yep. Good. Thank you. Yeah. That's really helpful. Those rusty threads were holding on for dear life, but we got it. Alright, there's the castle nut. There you go! There's the joint. So that wraps up our first repair job for a customer car in our shop. So I charged $800 for this repair. Let's see, we spent $49.84 on a sway bar end link. We spent $144.88 on the control arm. Took me about 6 hours between driving the customer back home, sourcing the parts, and doing the repair. So we'll divide that by 6. I made $100.88 an hour. Man, it's been a crazy week. It keeps getting busier and busier, but it's pretty exciting. Now, the lift has arrived. I ordered this 2 days ago. It shipped out this morning, and here it is. It arrived right across the street at my previous employers at the dock, and we were able to forklift it over just like they forklifted over that Chrysler Sebring yesterday. I was able to find some hydraulic oil at the local Ace Hardware, so let's fill this thing up. I think that should be enough. All right, we're gonna use a nice thick extension cord. I don't know if I have to bleed these cylinders or how that all works, but I know my quick jacks had to bleed those for a while. Let's see what happens. Put the cap back on. All right, here goes nothing. Nothing. What's going on? Weird, the second I push the button, the little light on my plug goes out. Huh, maybe I'll try a different outlet. This thing is 110 volts, right? Yep. All right, the plug already looks a little brighter. Maybe there was just something up with that outlet. All right, take 2. There we go. Wow, really smooth right away. I'm checking for leaks. I'm not seeing any leaks. This looks good. I did notice that they shipped it with fluid in the lines, so maybe that's why I didn't have to bleed it. Yeah, I don't hear any cavitation or anything. Got to make sure we got enough fluid in there. You don't want to run this thing dry. Wow, this thing's looking really good. And there it's locked. Well, that was easy. This is going to be really nice. So it looks like it's going to work perfect. However, I'm going to actually have to take this unit and flip it 180 degrees. Reason being is with the way it's set up now, if I wanted to pull a car straight onto it, I couldn't without running over the safety release latch and the hydraulic hose. So this thing is mobile. It is a portable lift. It's pretty easy to roll back and forth. You actually use this portion of the lift to help kind of pry it up and roll it around. But turning the thing is really difficult. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you that it's possible, but you guys get to watch me struggle. We'll give it a shot. We're off. Everything seems to be holding. It picked up the front a lot faster. But we're still far from max height. This is crazy. Oh. Look at that. It's buckling the floor a little bit. Maybe I'll have to save the lift for the concrete section here. What I'll probably do is just remove the floor tiles in this rectangle here. But check this out. This is a game changer. This is gonna make it so much easier to work on this car, which you can see is important because this car probably needs a bunch of work. Looks like we got probably a front main seal leak in there. You can see it's leaking all over the crankshaft position sensor. That could have been causing some issues. She's solid, but there is a lot of flaky surface rust. Pinch welds look pretty good on this side. Not so much on the other side. Looks like we got a little more leaking over here. I hope the rear main seal's not leaking. I see a little oil there. We'll have to clean that off. A lot of it's probably coming from that drain plug. So I think normally with this lift, the side with the wheels, that's the side that's supposed to roll, and this front bar here, I don't think that's supposed to move. But with the plastic floor, that front section is moving. It's sliding a little bit. So it really is kind of scissoring its way up there. We're on the safety lock now, so let's plug our light back in, grab our super clean, and see if we can get this thing super clean. Alright, that's a lot better. Maybe I'll run the car and we'll see if we can find anything actively leaking. I'm looking for anything coming out of that front main seal. Maybe the oil pan, maybe the oil drain bolt, oil filter, or maybe the rear main seal between the tranny and the engine. This thing has been leaking a little bit of oil on the exhaust. You can see the portion of the exhaust there, it's stained black. It's obviously not a crazy leak if it doesn't actively drip when the car's running. The rust is pretty gnarly back here. I found out why the ebrake cable doesn't work. It's disconnected right here. You can see this part broke off. It's just hanging out. How about this other side? This side might be okay. Back to the front, we're still looking dry under the front main. But if you look right here, which I believe is, yeah, where the bell housing meets the engine, the rear main seal, looks like we got a drip there. So you can see how if you were driving down the road, that leak there would blow onto the exhaust, which is why the exhaust is stained, and it burns off and you can smell it. The previous owner did say that the power steering pump was leaking on this thing, and he just got that replaced before selling the car. So that could be what was all over the front of the engine. Now normally any front wheel drive car that you put on this thing, if you want to do like an oil change or an engine swap, you'd actually back it onto the lift, because as I have this thing on here now, the cylinders kind of get in the way, where towards the end of the car, you have all of this floor space and all this room underneath the car to drop whatever you need to. So it might be kind of awkward, but I'm going to drain the oil from this thing right now. That oil was dark, but at least it wasn't glittery. All right, it is now Sunday. I spent some time this morning editing the video. We are now 18 minutes into this video. It should be a long one, so if you guys are still watching, thank you very much for supporting. It's looking like I got a really busy week coming up, which is good for me. So today I want to finish getting my tasks out of the way. So let's get some new ebrake cables on this thing, some new spark plugs, and a new hood latch. All right, it's the next day. Unfortunately, I didn't get everything I wanted to done on the Astro van last night. I ran into a problem with the e-brake cables. So as you can see, the rear e-brake cable and the front e-brake cable are not connected. I don't have enough length there to get them together. And even if I did, check this out. The stud ends of the cable are different thread pitches. You got this one, which is like a coarse standard thread, and the OEM one, which is a metric fine thread. That's what I get for not using OEM cables, but it's a discontinued part, so you can't source them anymore. I do have some things on order. They should be here in the next couple days to fix this issue here. But even when I get those cables fixed, we got a problem with the actual brake pedal mechanism, or the parking brake pedal mechanism. So everything looks all right back there. I got the cable ran and everything, but usually with those pedals, if you push them all the way to the floor, you can push it a little bit farther and it'll spring back. Well, that spring is broken inside of our mechanism. Thank the car gods, because at our local U-Polar Parts, we just had a 2005 white Chevy Astro van show up. So I'll probably visit that place and see if I can pull some parts off it. As far as the hood latch and spark plugs, I got those ready to go in. But like I was saying, it is now the work week. I gotta get started on some customer cars. But if you like Astro vans, this is all good news, because it means we got another episode coming up in the future. This was just supposed to be a work van, get me back and forth to work, hauling parts, and it's looking like it's starting to become maybe like a project van. I don't know how that happened. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up today. This week in the shop, we're gonna be working on the Chevy LS. If the brakes and suspension show up for the NSX, we'll be bringing that into the shop. I got a Ford F-150 pulling up tonight for some new upper control arms and front shocks. I got a brake job later this week. I might be wiring up some tow mirrors. I got a busy schedule. That's why my projects gotta wait for the weekends. Some good news though is the shop is really coming together. I got a lot more flooring laid down in the background. As this video progressed, you guys probably saw that the shop is slowly but surely coming together. We're getting a little bit more organized. And I've been talking with some people. It'd be really cool to do like a movie night in here. Maybe I'll get a projector or something, get some Fast and Furious up on the wall, invite some people over, and do like a grand opening. I wanted to ask you guys, feel free to leave a comment down below. Would you like to see more content like this, just basic like shop life content, where I'll of course go over what I'm working on? Or do you want to just see kind of what I'm doing, where I stack up build series where it's like one NSX episode after the next, and then I get another car and another car, kind of one at a time? Or if you're cool with a mixture of both. Either way, we still have room for you guys in the shop. If anybody wants to see their build documented here, you can always email me at kraftingkars@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Instagram at afton.voigt.ej8. So as always, thank you guys for tuning into Crafting Cars. Please tell your friends about us. The more eyes we get on the channel, the bigger chance we have of this dream actually working out. All right, thank you so much. Goodbye.